Welcome to Me Time with Mind Escape Vibe, where it is your time to be kind to your mind. My guest today, Jarrod Bruce Lee, the CEO of the Daring Academy. Jarrod helps gay men overcome body shame and build unshakable confidence from inside out. Jarrod used to struggle big time with his body, confidence, sexuality, and self worth. Out of frustration, Jarrod knew he had to make a change, a real change. He bit the bullet, sought out help of mentors, coaches, and therapists, got fully qualified in fitness, nutrition, and psychology, and broke through those blocks and learned how to do things properly and dramatically transformed his body in the space of 14 months, along with his confidence. Jarrod has been featured in Queerty, Men's Health, and has helped transform over 400 bodies. That's 3,000 pounds of body fat lost. He helps gay men demolish the beliefs that they aren't worthy of having the bodies that they want, the love that they want, that it's too late to get fit, but that wanting to look good is shallow, and that they need to go on to extreme ends to get in shape. He is passionate about instilling more self love, confidence, compassion, and self belief in the world. I am so excited about our conversation. I hope you enjoy the podcast. Welcome to Me Time with Mind Escape Vibe, where it is your time to be kind to your mind. I am super excited for my guest today, Jarrod. Jarrod is a fitness enthusiast, trainer, the whole nine for the LGBTQ plus community. So I'm so excited to have him here today because everyone needs nutrition. We should all be eating. We're going to say that a few times during this conversation today. Jarrod, thank you for coming.
Renee, thank you so much for having me here. I'm very excited to be here and see how we can help and serve and provide support.
Oh
Really
yes, I think it's an important topic to talk about. We had a conversation before this, and you know how passionate I am about it, especially with my own child.
Mm.
Grown, but still my baby, and encouraging her to eat as well. So
Yeah.
I always like to start the show by asking all guests about a mental victory vibe celebration. So, Jarrod, what have you done for yourself lately?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Renee. I love it. So, uh, I would say yesterday actually. So, I'm quite driven. I'm ambitious. I'm very passionate about the work I do. Yesterday, I just noticed my body was saying, "Hey, Jared, you need to just actually take a bit of rest. You just
Oh,
need a bit of rest." And
yeah.
I allowed myself. I actually took a 30-minute nap in the afternoon. I don't usually do that, um, and that's victory for me because giving myself permission to go, Jared, rest, listen to your body. That's so crucial, and it's something I had to really train myself over time. Being this driven person to go, actually, Jared, you need to really make time for yourself. So I'm
I
proud of
love it. I love it. It's funny how our body tells us that, hey, it's time to sit it down and rest because I can identify with that. Driven, you want to get it done. You have so many things that you desire to complete and
yeah.
don't always listen, but I have tried to get better at listening to my body as well. So I love to hear that. What would you say your personal empowerment theme song is?
Yeah. I was thinking about this one. So there's two. Can I share two? Um,
Okay. All right.
So I've got Titanium by Sia. That's been a massive one for me. Um, it's something that's helped me through tough times when I challenges, whether it's facing bullies or different things in life. Right? It's kind of giving me the drive. Go, you know what? I'm made of steel. I can go. I can go. I can go. Um,
Yeah, you see, I'm about to jump out the seat. I'm trying to calm down. Okay.
yeah, I love that. I love it. And it's just when I'm in the gym, when I'm running the business, whatever it is, right? Facing challenges, goes, yes, let's go. There was kind of this. I also love Miley Cyrus, The Climb. Um,
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I love this because it's got a. I feel titanium it's being really useful, but what we're just talking about now, right? Giving time for self. The climb is a bit more. I find more of a spiritual connection of going. Actually, you know what? Facing challenges, but having that inner strength, spiritual
Yes.
strength, let's face challenges, overcome. Whereas titanium, I think it can have a bit of a feel of like a bit of screw you energy. Whereas
Yes.
the climb is more of a I'm on my journey to be my best self. And
Yes.
that's
I get my youngest introduced me to Sia when we were working out together, created a playlist for me, and it was the song Titanium was on there, and I love that song. So I was
yeah.
really excited. And then The Climb, oh my gosh. Well, I have my kids are grown now, but I love the song from when the movie was out. And
Yeah.
so you can catch me in the farmer's market. That song come on, I'm going to grab the first thing on the shelf and I'm singing. I'm
I
singing.
I can feel that passion right through the stream in there.
Yes. So I was like, oh, I know those songs. Yes, music is very healing. I love music. I love to listen to music, especially when it's just a day, whether it's
Mm,
good, bad, or ugly. Music just makes it all better, you
yes,
know?
absolutely. Allows me so much to just feel and allow. Sometimes when I can't put into words or something, it just goes, it taps into the emotions. Yeah, it is so healing.
Yes, I know me timers are like, why is she so excited? I know I almost jumped out of the chair, but those were two of my jams. I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help myself.
we need more. We need more excitement. We need more passion in this room. I love it.
So tell us your backstory.
Oh, okay. So, uh, how much time do we have? I want to make sure it's condensed.
We're about 45 minutes.
45 minutes. So, I struggled with my self-esteem, confidence, so many parts of myself for a very long time. Um, there were a couple of things, whether it's sexuality, so
Mhm.
realizing I was different and hearing all the different comments at school or in media about being gay is
Yeah.
wrong, being gay is bad, etc., etc., etc. I went to an all-boys school as well, so there was things like faggot and all that. So there was a big part I didn't believe. Felt like that I was inherently not okay.
Mm.
Combined with uh, ethnicity, being Asian, I had bottles thrown at me while I was walking on the street, people saying "ching chong," all this stuff, and it's just that's another part of being Asian is not okay. My skin color, I wanted to change it. I want to change it, not being gay. I want to change not being Asian. I'm quite short as well, and then on top of that, I came with my parents. They absolutely love me. I'm really blessed to have them. They sacrifice a lot at the same time in terms of emotional regulation and communication. I came up from a place where there was some violence, whether it was emotional or sometimes it was physical. Um, all of that combined, I was constantly in a state, my body was in a state of fear that I
Mm.
wasn't enough, anxiety. Um, and then add one more on top of that, being in a gay community, there's a lot of pressure to look a certain way and facing a lot of rejection in the dating scene. That's just all these stories of Jarrod, you're not good enough, you're not lovable, you can't find love, um, you're not okay. And it's really tough when you're in that place. I speak about it so freely now, Renee, but if you've met me 5 years ago, that's all locked up. I didn't share that.
I tear up a little bit because I understand. My youngest went through
Mm,
bullying, went through knowing that she was different. She's a trans woman. knowing that
mm,
she's different, and
mm,
all of the stigma that comes with that. And
mm,
I saw it.
mm,
And as a parent, you smother them with love, but
mm,
then the world doesn't.
mm.
The world is sometimes afraid of what they don't understand. So hearing your story reminds me of those times of looking at my child and saying, well, I love you,
Yeah.
even when she felt like the world didn't.
Wow. She's so blessed to have you, Renee, and to have that because not every child has a parent who embraces and loves them
Wow.
exactly as they are. So that's so, um, and I can see how challenging it would be to
Mhm.
love someone so much and then see the struggles they have to go through.
Yeah, I can only imagine what your parents are watching, and they're watching you struggle, and they want to go out and just smack them. You but they can't. They can just mother you with more love so that you feel it. And I
Mm,
hear what you're saying, because bullying is is very much so very common in the schools, very common in among adults. Cyberbullying is all kind of things happening with that. And you mentioned something that I'd like to just dwell on for a second. You said I had to, in the gay community, I had to look a certain way, being
mm,
rejected.
mm.
Could you talk more about that?
Yeah. So I can share experiences, right? So there's a few parts. Why I share your daughter's so lucky is that you're there for her. She understands. I faced all the bullying. I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't share. My parents, they didn't know. They knew nothing about this. They didn't know I was gay. So I was hiding that from them as well.
Oh,
So there's a lot of self rejection already.
mm-hmm.
Um, and then on top of that, um, I was 16, 17, right, starting to feeling so afraid about sharing my sexuality, but then I was going online to find connections with other gay men, and um, I was seeking approval. I wanted others to approve of me to make me feel okay. I didn't know this at the time, but that's what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would experience this like sending out messages, not getting a response. That's not as bad. But then there's been other moments where people actually message me, say, "Hey, there's nothing." I remember a very specific moment. I was online, and then someone actually said, um, "I had a name called Cute Boy Calvin or something as my username."
Okay.
So much gone out of the way to say, "Hey, there's nothing cute about you. There's nothing, there's nothing cute about you. Why are you here?" Um,
Oh my goodness.
Other things like, "Sorry, I don't like Asians," and just comments, right? Right now it doesn't it feels very different, but in the moment when I was 16, 17, 18, it almost feels like when you're seeking so much approval and you hear that, it's almost just goes the world crashing down. I felt so
Mm-hmm.
even more isolated, even more not enough. um
Feeling
and
alone. You are carrying a lot. You were
yeah,
carrying a lot, holding
yeah,
all that in.
yeah, yeah.
Talk about resilience. Go, Jarrod.
Thank you. Thank you, Renee. Thank you. Yeah.
Wow.
And the hardest part, Renee, about all this is I know from doing the work I do today, speaking with hundreds, people reach out to me off every day. Is my experience is not it's not singular. It's
Yeah,
very very common,
it's
and
very
that's the
common.
hardest part. Is so many people feel like they are alone, feel like they
Oh
have to
yeah,
go through
I
it
can I
alone.
can
Or,
identify. I don't think that we have to have a specific sexual orientation to identify with fat shaming and bullying. It happens across. No one is not. No one is eliminated from that. You
mm,
know, there are always times where something has happened, and it's
mm,
like I had a guest on
mm,
Janelle, and she talked about when those things happen, it's just a little tear. It's a little tear. And it's like it's that little tear at your heart, because emotionally you're like, I know I'd be so good at this. I want to be loved. I know I love. I know I got this. And you have someone saying, no, no, you don't. Wrong.
Mm.
And finding the strength to heal,
Mm.
and not to be emotionally stagnant in
Yeah.
that process is
Yeah.
the hard part.
Yes. Yes. To not buy in to that story and believe it and stay there, um, and be willing to heal that part.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. So that leads to my next question. How do you heal? How do you heal past wounds? How did you do it? How did you heal from the bullying, the fat
Yeah.
shaming, the not feeling good?
So it has morphed over time for my own journey in helping others. But in the beginning, right, there was a lot of that titanium song. There's a lot of fu energy. Like I enough is enough. It was out of resentment, out of anger, going, no, Jarrod is. I'm gonna do everything I can in my power to fight for me.
Mm,
I'm no longer gonna take those messages. No more, no more. And I put all of that energy. This is why I start into fitness, into eating better, into changing, into going after this thing, um, and it's done tremendous. It built my confidence up so much.
mhm,
Though what I didn't do though is I did this for 3-4 years, and a lot of things changed, Renee, on the outside, right? My dating life, people responded to me differently. A lot of that changed, but there was still a part of myself, even though I got a lot more confident, there
uh-huh.
were still the wounds that weren't healed. They were still there,
Yeah.
still there. And what I found the most useful in healing this is I've been lucky. I've had beautiful therapists, beautiful coaches to help, but its ability to speak it out loud.
Yes.
Because once you can speak it, it takes away the sing. And
Mhm.
when you have someone like you listening right now, Renee, someone who's beautifully in open space with no judgment, you go, oh wow, okay, maybe this is okay.
Mm,
Maybe this part of me is it's okay.
yeah. Ooh, I'm tearing up. I'm trying not to, because I understand.
Mm.
It's like I want to reach through the screen and just hug you, because it's resilience. That's what I see. I see
Mm.
resilience.
Mm.
I see a resilient man in front of me right now, and I'm just like, yes, because I think we need more a reminder of that more often.
Mm.
That reminder, and that you're vulnerable. Here
Mm.
you are sharing your story.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started. I'm ready. I'm ready to turn on the songs already. And so you work through that by your confidence and all of those things, by
Mm.
finding something that meant more to you, to say, hey, this is who I am.
Yeah.
What was your mental dialogue like as you were transforming? Because
Yeah.
you transformed, you transitioned, moving and shaking.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a few parts, right? As my dialogue was that I'm going to really prove to myself what I'm capable of, really just show myself. Um, and it takes a lot of courage, because when you don't, when I saw this vision of myself, which was confident, healthy, strong, and really this bigger version of myself,
Mhm.
there's that part voice, right, that goes, oh, can you do this? No, Jarrod,
Yeah.
you can't
I
do
call
that.
them mindset misfits. So they were
Yeah,
trying to hijack you too. Yeah. They visit
yeah.
me too. Yeah.
But the biggest dialogue was just, you know what? I'm not. I almost, it sounds a bit crazy, but I saw life in advance in the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. I'm like, you know what? Life is too short to not face fears. I don't want to go. This has been a big story that's really helped me. I want to be 40, 50, 60, and then look back and go, oh, I didn't follow this. And that gave me a lot of strength. And then today, right, the biggest thing that's giving me strength now is why I share my story so openly now is knowing that if it helps one person, just understand, connect, and heal, that's okay. My heart is open. It's here. It's here. And that helps me override any self-doubt, any fears, because if one person can listen right now and go, man, Jarrod went through all those things and he's here, and I'm going through a lot of shit right now. Maybe I can too. And that's my biggest mission.
I love that. I love that. So I let's talk about how you got there, because you talked about working with clients and transforming their bodies, transforming their minds, because the body is one thing, but you also have to work on the mindset. So when you're working with individuals and they are struggling with bully, fat shaming, even their own self rejection, because it's self rejection. It's not just about being rejected by the world. Sometimes we reject ourselves. Yes. How do you start?
Yeah, that's a great. The first thing, Renee, here is actually acknowledging, building awareness. I help them dig it all up. That pain needs to be brought up to the surface. There needs to be spoken, needs to be seen. And then once we start to understand, and this is what I did with myself, I had to go, okay, these are the painful experiences. Maybe you're bullied, maybe you're fat shamed, maybe you were bullied for your skin color, for your looks, whatever it is. Okay, this is what's going on. You started to believe all these things. And I started to crack it open and go, okay, what if that's not actually true? What if there's a version of you out here? What if you are lovable? What if you're enough right now? And then what if there's a version of you where all of this is a thing of the past? And then we start to bridge a gap from where they are, of it being in that painful spot. And I dig in, I crack it open. What if these things are not true? What if you can live very differently?
Wow. You go right into them limiting beliefs. And it sounds like you make them visualize the person that they're becoming.
Yes, that's the biggest part. So, and then once that vision is so powerful and strong, we start to go, okay, so these are the things that's going on. How do you want to feel? How do you want to feel in your body? How do you want to fit into your clothing? How do you want to love yourself beyond how you look? How do you want to feel on that space? How do you want your health to be? How do you want your confidence to be like? How do you want your dating life? And we just paint the picture, and we get them to believe it so powerfully, just like I did for myself. We go, okay, let's move. Let's take action. Let's actually help you get you where you want to go.
I love that, because a lot of times, you start with fitness, you say, oh, I want to lose weight, which is fantastic, because there's so many health benefits with maintaining a healthy body and appearance. But it's nothing wrong with being in a more curvaceous or bigger body either. But I also love that you're not saying this is what it's about. It's not about the number on the scale. It's not about that. What it's about is, how do you feel inside? How do you feel today? And where do you want to go? And I love that you're saying that, because I think a lot of times we forget that. We forget that, especially when it's something about fitness and working out and changing our body size, and maybe being smaller, maybe being more toned, whatever the desire is. I think we forget it sometimes, because if the results don't happen when you want them to happen, you feel like there's something wrong, instead of tapping into your why and continuing to move forward. And that's what you teach your clients. And I love that. I love that.
And this comes from personal experience, right? Because of my journey, I know what it feels like to have achieved it, and this part is not sorted. I want to help everyone do both. Do it inside out. That self-love and that gratitude, right? you can't shame yourself. If you shame yourself into shape, even if you get there, it's not going to be a nice place. You want to love yourself into shape, love yourself into however it is you want to go, love yourself into it. And it makes the journey more fun and actually makes you a lot more successful because it's coming from this place of intuition, self-trust, and self-love.
I love that. Now, I do have a question about deprivation and starvation to meet the
Yes.
ideal look. Okay, I
Yeah.
talk to a lot of young folks. I have a mentoring program. I'm out here talking to these young people. I learn a lot from young people, but I also shake my head too and say, not so much. Okay. What advice would you have for a young person, maybe a young man that knows he's different, or a young woman that knows she's different, a trans individual that feels they have to have this body, look a certain way in order to be accepted?
Yeah.
What message would you have for them? And I know that you talked about self love, going deep within, and dealing with those feelings, but what if the feelings are there's so many
Yeah.
that they're kind of debilitating and they
Yeah.
can't deal with everything at once? What advice would you have for them?
Wow. I would start with, can I share a brief past story of my
Yes,
teenage years?
please.
From that space, I did a lot of crazy things, Renee, where I went into starvation. I remember where I would have cucumbers, carrots only, nothing else. I was 15. 15. I went on, when I was 18, 19, I went on these long 20-kilometer runs every nearly on a daily, weekly basis. All the stuff coming from the space, it wasn't just physically, it didn't, number one, physically didn't give me the results I wanted. But number two, I was really actually wrecking my body from the inside out.
Okay.
I didn't know this at the time. And so in terms of actual changes by eating healthier, nourishing your body, moving your body in ways that feel good, it's a very different process and you actually get better results that way. But if we go into in that moment when I'm really trying to see right now, I'm picturing myself, 15-year-old, in that space. I want the people listening right now to even just close their eyes for a second and just listen within, because there's a voice, there's something inside that just knows. There's a knowing of self-worth. It's in there. It's right in there. But you need to close your eyes and be able to go in, to shut off all the voices, whatever you've seen on social media, especially now today, right? Whatever is on the outside, just shut it all out. Even you and me right now, Renee, right? So just shut it all out. Just listen within. There is a voice inside of every single one of us that has that value, self-worth, that knowing. And what I'm hoping for in speaking my words now is for them to, it's more at the finger to point for them to tap into that. And it's in there. No matter how hard it is, no matter how much you might feel like you have to please all that, this is inside of all of us. It's right there.
I tear up. I'm glad I have glasses on because I remember just personally my own story. I've always been a curvaceous woman. And, I was growing up in the 80s and the 90s, curvaceous wasn't it. It was thin was it. And I can remember looking at other women and looking at what they were wearing and looking at their size and thinking about my size and thinking, I don't look like them. What's wrong with me? And to hear you say, close your eyes and block out all the noise, because that awareness is there. Just take a moment to listen. It taps into that young lady at that time. She surfaced, this teenage Renee. She just surfaced and she just said, that was us.
Yeah.
That was us. You know, and it made me tear up because that's literally what came to mind. You know?
It's right there. I can't imagine that being in the 80s, 90s, to see that all the time, to see that constantly, right? But it's right there. It's right there inside of you. And there's that, I love that.
It was something that was not really talked about, like terms like bullying and fat shaming and all of those things. Like when I was growing up, it wasn't something that was talked about openly. Now, families talked about it within their homes, and hey, that's great, but not in my home, not when I was growing up. So, you know, when to hear a young person such as yourself say, hey, I need you to close your eyes, I get so happy because there's a teenager out there, there's a 20 something out there, even a 30 something or a 40 something. There, no one has told them to close their eyes and tap into that voice. You know, and this may be the first time that they hear that message. And when they hear that voice, oh my gosh, watch out.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Because that's the most powerful thing. And this is even with the work we do here, right? The coaching I help clients is not so much, obviously I give direction. Hey, this is what I do for the workouts. This is what I do for nutrition. This is the mindset work. But ultimately, it's helping them to tune in to go, actually, what is that saying?
You're just saying, hey, I'm just bringing that voice to the surface. I know you got it.
Yeah.
I love it so much. I do. It makes me feel very good inside. Mind Escape Vibe is something that I just want the whole world to feel good. And I just love to hear you say that, because to me, we're making the world feel good.
Yeah.
So thank you for saying that. But I have to ask you, what keeps most people stuck?
Yeah. So this is the most challenging part, right? Where it's I see it as an I can't pronounce the word right now. Paradox. Oxymoron. What's that word? Let's go paradox. So there's two things. One, I really see tapping into that voice, and there's this intuition and that feeling good, right? Really, that's so important. Though, then what happens for transformation to take place? It is going to get uncomfortable.
No.
It is going to, you have to face your fears. When you step into yourself and just say, you know, I'm not taking that anymore, I'm going to believe in myself more. It doesn't mean just hide in your shell and just feel good by yourself and then that's what you do, because nothing's going to change. You actually have to go out there and take the actions, which is going to challenge all those fears, all those doubts, all of those thoughts. As an example, very simple one. When I first stepped inside a gym, it was scary. All these big guys, they go, oh, I don't belong here. And I'm sure a lot of people can resonate with that. It's going to take discomfort. It's not going to be this easy ride where you're just going to feel good, go to the gym and love it. It's not going to happen. But if you are willing to go through the discomfort, face those fears, amazing, things change. When I grew up in a family where I had packets of potato crisps for afternoon dinner, and I didn't have the best eating habits. To make those changes was very uncomfortable. To go, I have to eat more vegetables. I don't want to do that. That's uncomfortable. To challenge those doubts, those fears, because you don't look good enough, and actually start to go, actually, I can. it tastes discomfort. Even things like the dating situation, right? To be able to ask someone out, to be able to set a boundary and just say no to someone if they're not treating you well. All of this is going to be uncomfortable. And what keeps people stuck is being so familiar in their discomfort of whether it's not, if I didn't like myself, I kept it and just stayed there. That's what keeps stuck.
Oh, that's a read.
Yeah.
I can hear someone saying, yeah, I stayed because I'm comfortable, even though I'm not happy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a read. Oh, yes, I love it. Mhm. It's definitely about facing the fears, and it resonates. I think it resonates across many, many spectrums because we all have our comfort zones. We all have fears, and
Mm.
we don't want the fear to consume us.
No. Yeah.
So step outside of that. How do you do it? It's easier said than done. Why are you saying this on? I don't know how.
Yeah.
Start with self. First, start with closing your eyes
Yeah.
and listening. No
Yeah.
noise. And sometimes there are times when, especially for me, it got to a long. It took me a minute to be comfortable with silence and stillness.
Mm.
You know, you may not be comfortable with it for a long time. It may just be 30 seconds, maybe 10 seconds, but at least you started. Celebrate it.
Yes.
I love that you're saying that because there will be someone that says, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I'm not comfortable. No, I'm not happy. But how do I start?
Yeah.
And I'm just going to take them right back to what you've already said, which is listen to the voice within. And that means blocking out the noise, blocking out the distractions,
Mm.
blocking out the mindset misfits. You know, figure out how to send the mindset misfits packing, especially if they're sitting on your sofa, having a glass of water, having a soda, or maybe a beer. Tell them
Mm.
it's time to go home. They've been evicted.
Mm.
And listen, because that is so important what you said.
Mm.
I love that. I do. It makes me so fired up.
Yeah.
It
What,
does.
what I found most powerful is with this too, Renee, right, is we shut out the voices at the same time. Then you, by some of the action steps, is getting other people who have gone through what you've gone through, or
Ooh,
similar, who's gone where you
community.
want to go. Yeah, and then it just goes, oh, okay, this is how you reprogram, right? As you find a coach, a community, somewhere where you go, the challenges all your previous views, and then you imprint new systems, new ways of thinking that actually helps you. Because we don't do this journey alone. I'm still surrounded by lots of people that inspire me, support me.
Yeah.
We need it as a
We
community.
definitely need it. I want to ask you about Daring Academy. Could you talk to us about Daring Academy?
Yeah. So the Dare Academy started from this awakening of this incredible self-love that I'm still working on and developing. It's come such a long way, and I thought, okay, I know there are other people that need this, not just to look good, but to really feel good and love themselves from the inside out. And then we provide. So what we do, right, is number one, we provide that community, we provide that support where you feel understood. You feel like, okay,
Mm.
I'm not alone on this journey. Oh, there's other guys here who's being bullied for their looks, fat shamed, who's gotten all these messages. Your sexuality is not enough. All of the stuff. That's number one, the community, and then we provide the guidance, the mental work, the mindset misshifts, right? Misfits. Get rid of
Yeah,
those.
mindset misfits.
Yes,
Mhm.
mindset misfits. We provide guidance on that. We provide all the exact tools with the workouts, nutrition. There's so many, it can get really confusing. So we just make it very simple, all science based, that is driven for results. And then we do a lot of deep healing and self love work, just challenging self love, self love, self love. How do you get you where you want to go and just hold that vision so brightly? Um, probably the biggest part is self love, vision. Let's get you there. We can get you there.
Where can we learn more about Daring Academy?
Yeah, I would say the best way. Follow me on Instagram, Jarrod Bruce Lee. That's the best way. I do. There's a website, thedaringacademy.com, but I would say follow my content on Instagram. That's the best way. Feel free, anyone listening, if you have any questions, any support, anything that you need, feel free to reach out. Send me a DM. DMs are always open. Um, and we do also, there's a checklist as well in terms of specifically around body confidence and self-love, of all the things that I've noticed that's really helped people love themselves from the inside out. Feel free to shoot me a DM. I'll send that checklist over and you can just go through what are those key points that needs to happen for this full confidence to come through.
I love this community. I love what you're building. I love to see it in young people. I do. I do. It makes me so happy inside. I love it. I love that it's called Daring Academy because it's like, I dare you. I dare you to listen to that voice within.
Yeah, exactly it. That's exactly it. Being courageous. I dare you. I dare you to step into your true self. I dare you to step in and be that person. It's right in there. It's in there.
That's the name of the show. I dare you to step in. You just named the show. I'm going to name this episode, I Dare You to Step In. I love it. I have one more question for you. What advice would you give your younger self to help cultivate self-trust?
I would say that closing eye thing, definitely. So really listen in. But I would say, as challenging as things may be, I want you to know that you have the strength inside of you to face it. And sometimes it might feel like all the stuff is just happening to you and it's terrible. But I want you to know that at some point you will look back here right now. That, wow, I'm glad I went through it and made me who I am. And just really listening to that strength inside.
I love it. I love it. Me timers. You heard it here first with Jarrod Bruce Lee. I love the advice that gave his younger self. For my young listeners that may come across this, tap into it. Check out Daring Academy. There is community for you. And it started here. I love to hear it. Thank you so much for coming on. You brought tears to my eyes. You know, I get a little teary eyed on the show every now and then. I love that I wear glasses when that happens. But I love what you said today. I love what you've given to the world. And I hope that you continue to bring this light into the world because you're shining.
Thank you, Renee.
And thank you so much for being on the show today.
You got me to tear up too, Renee. I don't know. Thank you for holding such a beautiful space, and tearing up requires vulnerability, because that's what creates healing. So thank you for allowing me the space to share. Thank you.
Yes. Me timers. You've heard it here on Me Time with Mind Escape Vibe, where it is truly your time to be kind to your mind. You have a great day now.